Hello everyone, welcome to the mechanical vibration lecture. In this lecture, we will discuss about the solution of equation of motion for multi-degree of freedom system. So during lecture, first of all, we'll talk about the idealization, then we'll talk about the dynamic equation of motion, then we'll discuss the solution of these equations. So to discuss the idealization, we'll take an example of multi-story building. So see in this picture, this is the multi-story building having 3 floors, 1, 2 and 3. So this building can be converted into a 3 lumped mass system or 3 degree of freedom system, or we can say this continuous system is modeled into a discrete system or lumped parameter system. So for all the floors 1, 2 and 3, the mass of these floors can be considered at lumped at these points. So mass of these floors can be calculated using the floor properties, and stiffness and damping in between these floors can be considered lumped at these places. K3, C3 is the lumped parameter of stiffness and damping characteristic between floor 2 and 3. Similarly, in between floor 1 and 2, the whole stiffness of this system, or you can say the equivalent stiffness, is considered as lumped at this place, which is K2, and equivalent stiffness is considered at lumped into this form. Similarly, in between ground floor and first floor. So this is the idealized system or you can say discrete system. So this idealization is important because the vibration analysis of this discrete system is easier, because in this system we need to solve the ordinary differential equations, while in this continuous system we need to solve the partial differential equation, and the solution of ordinary differential equation is easier than the solution of partial differential equations. So this is all about the idealization. So in this system, the mass of floor 1, 2, 3 is m1, m2, m3 can be calculated using the floor properties, and stiffness k1, k2, k3 can be calculated using the stiffness properties of these columns. So we can write equation in the form m, we can write the equation as m x double dot, then damping matrix, this is velocity vector, plus stiffness matrix, this is displacement vector, is equal to Ft, this is external force which is function of time. So already we have discussed the generation of mass matrix, stiffness matrix and damping matrix. So in the last class we discussed that how to generate the mass matrix, and how to generate the damping matrix, and how to generate the stiffness matrix. So that matrix for this particular system, as we developed in the last class, that was m1 0 0 0, m2 0 0 0, m3, and stiffness matrix was k1 plus k2 minus k2 0 minus k2 k2 plus k3 0, this was k3, this was minus k3 k3 0, and similarly the damping matrix was c1 plus c2 minus c2 0 minus c2 c2 plus c3, this was minus c3 0 minus c3 and c3. So in this matrix we can see all the off diagonal terms are 0, and in these two matrix we can see the off diagonal terms are non-zero. And already we discussed that these matrices are positive definite. These matrices are positive definite means it will, if we take the determinant of these matrices, that will be more than 0, or you can say that will have the positive value. So by looking into these matrix, we can say if the off diagonal terms are non-zero, then these equations are coupled equations. If the off diagonal terms are 0, then we can say these equations are non-coupled. So in this matrix, the off diagonal terms are 0, so we can say these equations are not having inertia or mass coupling, means mass of the first degree of freedom is not vibrating or not coupled with the mass of second degree of freedom system. While in this particular, these two matrices, we can say the equation of first degree of freedom will have the x1 and x2 terms, because this is K2 and this is K1. So we can say the stiffness between first and second both are coupled to each other. So we can say this will have the static coupling, and because of this will have the damping coupling, velocity coupling, or you can say dynamic coupling. So we need to solve these equations, these coupled equations. We need to have a special technique. So now we will discuss how to solve these equations. So solution of these equations. So we can take an example of undamped vibration. So for this we'll have one equation which is m x double dot plus k x is equal to 0. The response of this system, from this equation we can say the response of this system is function of space and time both. So we can say xt is the function of space as well as of time. So function of space means when we are talking about the solution, then we can say we have to be particular about which point we are talking. We are talking about the first floor or second floor or third floor. So means about which point we are talking about. These equations are known as coupled equations. So to decouple this equation, we can assume this solution in the form, or you can say for decoupling these equations, this equation, we can say x, which is the function of x and t, is phi and q2. So this is the time variation function, this is the time variation function, and this is the space variation function. Because response is the function of space and time as well. So space function means we need to be particular about the point about which we are talking, and for time we have to be particular for which time we are talking. So if you want to see the response of or displacement of this, then you have to be particular about the first floor and have to be particular about the time, at which time you are talking about. So we can say this is the function of space and time. So in this case, multi-degree of freedom system, the value of x are discrete. The value of x are discrete and defined the location of masses, and this is the defined at the location of masses. But in the continuous system, the value of x, or you can say value of this space variation function, is continuous along the length of this structure. But in this particular discrete system, this phi is defined as the particular discrete points, first floor, second floor, then at third floor. For this particular example, we can say. So to develop this solution, our equation is mx double dot plus kx is equal to 0. This is the equation, and solution is x, which is the function of x and t. This is phi x and q t. So velocity can be written as x dot, can be written as, because this is the function of space, so phi x and q dot t, and the acceleration can be written as x double dot is equal to phi x q double dot t. So here q is means we can say this building is, or this particular structure is oscillating in form of SHM, or this is performing simple harmonic motion. So with the time, if this is the performing simple harmonic motion, then this q can be written in the form of a sine omega nt plus b cos omega nt. So if this q is a sine omega nt and b cos omega nt, then if we'll get the double dot of this q and we'll put at this place, then we'll have x double dot as minus omega n square phi x q double dot t. So now if we'll substitute this value of x and x double dot into this equation, or on substitution of x and x double dot, we'll have m this is x double dot, so minus omega n square phi x, this is m matrix multiplied by q double dot t, and k phi x q t is equal to 0. So this can be written as m, or you can write, if we simplify this, we can write k minus omega n square m phi q equals to 0. So from here we can say, for the non-trivial solution, this q has to be non-zero. So we can say for non-trivial solution, q should not be equal to 0. So this equation becomes k minus omega n square m phi equals to 0. Then again we can say, for the non-trivial solution, this phi has to be non-zero. So we can say for non-trivial solution, this phi must not be equal to 0. So from here we'll have, or we can say, for the solution, the determinant of the coefficient of this phi must be equal to 0. So to have the non-trivial solution, we can put the determinant of k minus omega n square m equals to 0. So this equation is known as characteristic equation. So this equation is known as characteristic equation, and this will have the root equals to n. N is the degree of freedom of system. So those roots are known as eigen values. So value of omega n square So omega n square, or you can say omega n 1 square, omega n 2 square, and omega n 3 square. If we are talking about the 3 degree of freedom system, so matrices will be 3 by 3. So this equation will have 3 roots, or you can say this equation will be a polynomial in form of omega n square of nth order, or n is degrees of freedom. So this will have these 3 roots, and these values are known as eigen values. So solution of this equation will give us the eigenvalue for this particular system. And for particular this omega n 1 square, if we'll put this value into this equation, then we'll have the value of phi 1. And if we put the value of omega n 2 square into this equation, then we'll have the value of phi 2. Phi 2 means this phi is associated with second root. And if we put the value of omega n 3 square into this equation, then we'll have the value of phi 3, means a phi associated with omega n 3. So these are known as eigenvectors. So how to calculate these eigenvectors we'll discuss in the next lecture. Now the point is, how did we arrived at qt is equal to a sin omega nt plus b cos omega nt? So prove this, we can have one alternate. So we'll have equation is equals to mx double dot plus kx is equal to 0. So x was phi multiplied by q. So x double dot was phi q double dot. So if we replace these values into this equation, then this will be m phi, this is m matrix, phi multiplied by q double dot plus k phi q equals to 0. Or if we write this equation in the form of n separate equation, if we write this equation in n separate equations, then this will get the form j equals to 1 to n mij phi j q double dot plus j equals to 1 to n kij phi j and q is equal to 0. Here I equals to 1 to and up to n. N is number of degrees of freedom system. So from here we can separate the variables. So we can write minus, because this q is function of t. So we can write q double dot divided by qt is equal to j equals to 1 to n kij phi j divided by m ij phi j, and I equals to 1 2 3 and up to n. So by looking at this equation, we can make one statement that the left side is independent of indices I, means this left side is independent of degrees of freedom. Or if you are talking about the first degree, or you are talking about the second degree, this is the independent of indices I. And you can say the right side is independent of time t. This is the independent of time t. This is the function of time only, and this is the function of I. So you can say these both are independent. This is independent of I and this is independent of t. So both sides must be equal to a constant. So we can say these sides must be equal to a constant, and we can assume that constant as omega square. We can assume that constant as omega square. So by assuming omega square, now we can write this equation in the form of q double dot t plus omega square q t equals to 0. So now if we look at this equation, so this is the equation of simple harmonic, and the solution of simple harmonic equation, generalized solution of simple harmonic equation is a sin omega t plus b sin omega b cos omega t, and omega is the frequency of this particular SHM. So this is the general solution of this harmonic equation, simple harmonic equation. That's why at this place we said the Q is a sin omega n t plus b cos omega n t, means this system, this structure is performing simple harmonic motion in time. So we can, from this solution we can support our statement, and the second equation by using this can be written as j equals to 1 to n kij minus omega square mij multiplied by phi j equals to 0. Or simply we can write, if we are talking about, simply we can write k minus omega square m multiplied by phi equals to 0. So to have the non-trivial solution of this, the determinant of this has to be equal to 0. So that is the same equation. So we can say if the determinant of this is equal to 0, then we can have this equation k minus omega square m, determinant of this is equal to 0. So this is the same equation as we discussed earlier. So this will have the roots equals to n in the form of omega square, and those values are known as eigenvalues, and associated value with the omega 1, omega 2, omega 3 square, the value of phi 1, phi 2 and phi 3 are known as eigenvectors. Those we'll discuss in the next class. So and this omega square is known as eigenvalues, and omega, the root of this value, is known as natural frequency of the system. So if we are talking the root of this omega n 1 square, the root of this is omega n1, which is known as natural frequency or first natural frequency of the system. Frequency of the system, and these natural frequencies are in general organized as omega n1, then omega n2, then omega n3. The lowest one is known as fundamental natural frequency of the system. Fundamental natural frequency of the system. So we can say the square root of eigenvalue is known as natural frequency. So now we'll take an example, or we'll discuss the solution methodology of this eigenvalue problem or this characteristic equation. This is known as eigenvalue problem. This is known as eigenvalue problem. So next we'll discuss the solution of eigenvalue problem. So our eigenvalue problem is k minus omega square m phi equals to 0. So now we can multiply this equation by k inverse, or you can say multiply this equation by k inverse. So on the multiplication of K inverse, we'll have K inverse multiplied by K minus omega square K inverse M and phi equals to 0. So this becomes identity matrix I minus omega square, and this becomes K inverse M and phi. And this K inverse M is known as dynamical matrix D. Dynamical matrix, this is dynamical matrix D is equals to K inverse M. So this can be written as I minus omega square D matrix into phi is equal to 0. So to have the non-trivial solution, we can, the determinant of this is equal to 0. So identity matrix omega square D, the determinant of is equals to 0. So when we solve this, or you can say this omega square, if we'll multiply this whole equation 1 by omega square, then we can have 1 by omega square I matrix minus D matrix is equal to 0. And if we call this 1 by omega square as lambda, then we can say the lambda I matrix minus this dynamical matrix, the determinant of is equal to 0. So if we solve this, this will have the nth degree of polynomial. If we are talking about the 3 degree of freedom system, then this will have the 3 degree, or omega, this lambda will have 3 roots, and those are known as the root of that characteristic equation. This equation is also known as frequency equation. So now we'll solve that particular example. So we considered this example. So that example was M1 0 0 0, M2 0 0, M3, and this is x1 double dot, x2 double dot, x3 double dot plus k1 plus k2 minus k2 0 minus k2, k2 plus k3, this is minus k3 0 minus k3, k3, and this is displacement vector x1 x2 x3 is equal to 0. So just to discuss the procedure or solution of eigenvalues, we'll consider that k1 k2 is equal to k3 is equal to k, and m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m3 is equal to m. So by putting these values, we'll have mass matrix as, mass matrix will be m 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1, this is mass matrix, and we'll have the stiffness matrix by putting these values. This is 2 minus 1 0 minus 1 2 minus 1 0 minus 1 and 1. This is our stiffness matrix. So first of all, we'll get the dynamical matrix D. So dynamical matrix D is equal to K inverse M. So we'll get the K inverse. So from here we can write the K inverse, which is equal to 1 by K 1 1 1 1 2 2 1 2 3. So you just try to get the K inverse of stiffness matrix. So you will have this matrix. So if we multiply it by K inverse by M, then we'll have the dynamical matrix, that would be D equals to M by K, and this is 1 1 1 1 2 2 1 2 3. So this is the dynamical matrix. Now we'll put this D into our eigenvalue problem. So in the eigenvalue problem, which is lambda multiplied by identity matrix, and this is dynamical matrix. To find out the eigenvalues, we'll put the determinant of this equals to 0. So by putting this, we'll have lambda 0 0 0 lambda 0, this is 0 0 lambda, because lambda multiplied with I matrix will have this one, and this is m by k, and 1 1 1, then this is 1 2 2 1 2 3. This is dynamical matrix, and determinant is equal to 0. So where here lambda equals to 1 by omega square, because earlier we replaced 1 by omega square with lambda. So now we'll divide this equation throughout, we'll divide this equation by lambda. So by dividing this equation by lambda, here we'll have, or you can say on dividing throughout by lambda gives, this becomes 1 1 1, and this becomes m by k lambda, and again m by k lambda is constant, so we can define m by k lambda as alpha. So this equation becomes, this complete, this minus this becomes 1 minus alpha, this is minus alpha, and this is minus alpha, 1 minus 2 alpha, this becomes minus 2 alpha, and minus alpha, minus 2 alpha, and 1 minus 3 alpha, because m by k lambda is alpha, so this is the 3, and this becomes 1 by dividing the lambda, so this becomes 1 minus 3 alpha, and determinant of this is equal to 0. So while we solve this equation, we'll have the polynomial equation. So if we put the determinant of this equation is equal to 0, then we'll have one equation which is alpha cube minus 5 alpha square plus 6 alpha minus 1 equals to 0. Here alpha equals to m by k lambda. So on solving this equation, this cubic equation, will have 3 roots. So on solving the roots of this equation, you just solve, I'll just write here the roots of this cubic equation is alpha 1 equals to m omega 1 square over k m omega 1 square over k, because lambda equal to 1 by omega square. So this is equals to 0.19806, and by solving this, we'll have omega 1 equals to 0.44504 k by m. So similarly, we'll have the second root alpha 2 equals to m omega 2 square over k, because m by k lambda was 1 by omega square, so this becomes, if lambda replaced by omega square, then this becomes m omega 2 square over k, and this is equals to 1.553. So omega 2 equals to 1.2471 under root k by m. Similarly, the third root of this equation, third root of this cubic equation is m omega 3 square or k is equal to 3.2490. So by solving this, we'll have the third natural frequency omega 3 equals to 1.8025 under root k by m. So we got all the natural frequency for 3 degree of freedom system, omega 1, omega 2, and these are radian per second, radian per second, radian per second. And associated time also you can calculate using t equals to 2 pi by omega n. So t1 can be calculated using this omega 1, t2 can be calculated using omega 2, and t3 can be calculated using omega 3. So this is the complete procedure to find out the eigenvalues of multi-degree of freedom system. So in this particular example, we discussed about the 3 degree of freedom system. So we got 3 natural frequencies. So in these 3 natural frequencies will be associated with 3 mode shapes. So by replacing this omega 1, omega 2, omega 3 into this equation, k minus omega square m will, if we replace this by omega 1 square, then we'll have the 3 associated eigen vectors. Omega 1, this is associated with omega 1, this is associated with omega 2, and this is associated with omega 3. So these are the 3 mode shapes of this system. So in the next lecture, we'll discuss about the calculation of mode shapes of multi-degree of freedom system. Thank you.